All right, so look, we're back. We haven't done a thing. This is, I can't believe this happened. This is awesome. This is what I really needed to happen to show you. So a lot of things with resin, I got to try to hurry up because this is a crucial time. I need to get this. Just so you know, this is 99% isopropyl. You can get it just about anywhere. 91% is okay. And the reason I have cardboard, I'm going to show you. There's not that many bubbles already, but these right here, that is going to go away. All these bubbles are going to go away. We do use a torch from time to time. It all depends on what this does for me and what comes back. All we care about is the surface. That's it. So 99% isopropyl. What I'm going to do is hold this right here at the neck and squeeze and use this cardboard so all my big drops are going to hit here and not make a big splash where that resin don't want to come back in time. I'll just have the mist hitting. So it may be hard for you to hear me. I'll try to be a little clear, but I've got a mask on because this isopropyl is no joke. It will take your breath away. So here we go. There's not really a thing as too much. There is a thing is doing this too late. Now, the more you do it, kind of the cool design it kind of puts in there, you really have no control over that. That's just part of the isopropyl mixing with the science behind the resin, so to speak. So it's going to do its own little thing. But look at this. That right there would have hit that piece. That is way too much volume to hit that piece. That's why I do that cardboard. Controls all that. That way, as it's spraying over, it's just a fine mist. So we're going to let this sit here we're going to step out. It takes about 10 to 15 minutes for this stuff in here to kind of dissipate where you're not in any harm. Any bubble that comes back, which there's already one right there, that is where we do the torch, just on the surface right before this stuff starts to take shape and not move anymore. So we'll bring you right back. Okay, so we're back, and as you can see, look right there, out of this whole top, show them the whole top, Tom. Out of this whole top, we couldn't ask for anything better. We have one bubble that surprisingly is there. I couldn't tell you the last time we had a bubble sitting here staring at us after everything we just showed you. I'm kind of glad, everything happens for a reason. I'm glad that that happened because it's a lot easier to show you. Somebody right now across the world would be freaking out, literally, because look at the top. It is just gorgeous. The edges, everything is to die for. And then look at this one problem. So I'm glad in a sense this happened. We're going to show you exactly what to do with this. Maybe you might have 2 or 3, 10, what have you. The whole reason we flood coated this, we 2-coated it with paint, is to trap all the breathing. Well, apparently, even in 2 coats, that right there all stems back to the paint. It all stems back to the paint phase. So even though we covered this entire top right in front of you and showed you 2 different times with a quality paint, this one spot must have had a deep, deep hole that we could not see with our eye. That is exactly why the isopropyl already took that away. That's exactly why that one's back in the same spot. And notice there's nothing else wrong with this top, not a bubble in sight. So since this happened, it's not a big deal at all. I'm going to show you how to deal with this, and we're going to walk you through it. First thing you want to do is, just like we're sitting back here, waiting on these drips to finish. As we wait on them, I'll deal with that bubble in just a second. As we wait on them, popsicle stick. I'm going to show you right here. See, that's still stringy. Look, bink, just dropped, and now it's sucking itself back up. So it is very close in the process of not running anymore, but they're very like sap on a tree. Let's see if we get another one here. There you go, down here. That one just fell, that one just fell. There you go, those right there. So it's like sap on a tree. So it's not time yet, but good thing to do. Don't wait till it is time, because these little drips right here are already forming. So it's good to go ahead and to stay up on them just like that, so you end up with a clean finish. So I'm going to go ahead and run this right here. It's a good idea to go ahead and stay on top of these. I will do this, in all fairness, it probably takes about an hour after our pour that we already did. It's about an hour to an hour and a half later before I can take that popsicle stick across there and not get any bubbles to come back. So that's why I call it babysitting. I just did it. Right after we get done with this video, we'll do it again. In about an hour, hour and a half's time, I've probably wiped these bubbles maybe 8 to 10 times. And the reason for that, if I leave them and just try to get them all at the end, they've already at the crucial point of where you need to get those off and they're not going to come back. If you wait that long, the bubble has already started to mend. It's hard. You'll go through it, but you're going to have a bunch of lumps in the front instead of a sharp line, and then it's going to cause you to break out a sander at the end of this, which you really don't want to have to ever do. You can have a super clean finish if you just babysit these bubbles along the way. Only takes about an hour, hour and a half. So what I want to do here with our little bubble, he's got a little cousin right there that's trying to come up too. You see that, Tom? So this is what I'm going to tell you. It's very simple. And keep in mind, this is just the first flood coat. A lot of it for this reason. Not only do we have graphics and other things that we're going to put into play and put a clear flood coat over the top of that, that's going to add depth. It's just going to add all kinds of goodies so that this sucker's really banging, really popping at the end. But this is the good thing. Instead of waiting for this guy to form that bubble, the top is dry to the touch, all that stuff, you're going to have to pop that guy, sand that guy sooner or later. Take you a screw, okay? Take you a screw. Take the point of that screw, very tiny. Watch this. Stab that bubble. You see that big fish eye? No problem. That one, no problem. Just like these drips, we're going to sit here and keep poking at that guy. When these drips are about done and don't come back is the last time I'm going to poke that guy, and he ain't going to come back. Instead, he's going to leave us with a fisheye. Fisheye dips down. We don't care about the fisheye, because when we put a flood coat over this tomorrow, that fisheye is going to go away. If this was your finish and it's jet black and this is the look you're going for, no flood coat, you would have no choice but to pop that bubble and do another coat over the top of that. So that's why we do that anyway. And plus it allows us to put on this thick, nice coat like this to get the color scheme down below, and then we can add all kinds of different graphics and stuff. We're going with a white marble right on top of this. That's why we did the red glitter, which notice black, red, white. It's all the local colors. So it has an elegant look, but it hits Mike for his sports theme man cave. So it just really works out in our favor. Look, bubble is already back. Show them the whole top. Not a bubble in sight. So there again, we couldn't have timed this out any better, just so we can show you how we troubleshoot, how we deal with these little silly imperfections that drive people crazy. It's no big deal. Pop it. Boom. That's a fish eye. Okay? The resin's still moving ever so slightly. It's slowing down. So it already closed that fisheye. Here soon, we're going to pop that, and it's not going to have enough resin to come back and close because it's too far along in the process. So that's it for this episode. We've walked you through, talked you through everything. So we've got to let all this sit overnight. We're going to babysit all this stuff, and tomorrow when we bring you back, you'll see the fisheye right here. It'll be right there, that one and that one. You'll see them, and then it'll all make sense when we put a flood coat over that, because at that point when it fish eyes, even though the resin don't come back, it is still closed at that point. It's still clogged, so we will not have that come up in the clear flood coat. So this is, I'm not sure which part this is. We'll figure that out later, but just know, if you're seeing this right now, we've labeled everything, you know, part 1, part 2, part 3. So go back through if you have any trouble with your pieces, if this is your first time, if you're experienced, just go back through wherever you want to in these episodes dealing with this top so that you can get it down to a science. Anybody can do this. It's just a matter of taking the time. Practice makes perfect, and you're always going to have a piece that you love when it comes out. So look for the next part, graphics, clear flood coat, and as always, we'll see you back real soon.